So the startup table with AJ has been to now many places, and today we're in Srinagar on the beautiful Dal Lake, and it's freezing cold, but the hearts are warm. The startups are interesting, and I think we've got some interesting footage out there for you. So you became famous?
I would say
doing sketches on paper, reaching out to people, how this tech is built, what is coding, what is programming.
so something good came out of it. No, a lot of good came out of it. Discouragement कहाँ से था?
डिस्करेजमेंट तो कंप्लाइंस से सही था मैम.
Welcome to Startup Table with AJ. AJ being me, Archana Jahagirdar. And I'm the founder of Rukum Capital. And of course, we are not in the Rukum Capital office as we always are. Today, we are in Srinagar and I'm sitting with some lovely founders from the valley here. And it'll be interesting to hear them talk about what is it that they're building, their struggles, their achievements, and all good things that happen with being an entrepreneur. So welcome everyone, and thank you for coming and joining me at my table. So I'll request each one of you to introduce yourself briefly and a brief about your startup. I'll start with you, sir, please.
Yeah, I am Niaz. I have been working from last 8 years almost. We have a firm based Kashmir. It's a patented firm, and we're into financial services. We're into trademarks, patents, company registration, LLP registration, and I have 3 startups right now with me, whom I am a consultant to them, and plus I have my own firm for which I am into connecting the financial solutions to our clients, to CAs, to CS and all that.
So my name is Danish. First of all, thank you for inviting us here. So my last 10 years have been into tech. My recent appointment was as a project manager. I was based in Gurgaon. In 2023, I relocated back to Srinagar to build the first ever tourism-centric neobank in India. So we are more into fintech, but at the same time, we want to capture the lost tourism kind of thing, the hidden gems in J&K that people are not talking about. So we want to just give the blend of that fintech and that tourism that comes with the neobanking, that would be tourism centric. So we are an early stage startup stuck with a lot of compliances in the fintech, and at the same time stuck with a lot of capital problems as well.
Welcome.
I am Riaz Ahmed Beg, and I'm the founder of Logic Paradise Softwares and Insta Repricer. Logic Paradise Software is where we provide software services, software development services to our clients. And Insta Repricer is a software tool that helps Amazon sellers to earn buy boxes, increase sales, and stay competitive. Yeah, that's the brief introduction about.
Hi, my name is Sana Aftab. I'm the founder and CEO of a company called Co Wellness Private Limited. It's an FMCG company, so we mainly deal with manufacturing and sale of wellness and lifestyle products. So wellness comes both in skincare as well as food. So our main aim is to create products which are very healthy, very well sourced, which are ethically sourced, organically grown. A lot of our focus is on clean living, so clean skincare, clean beauty, and healthy foods. Basically, our focus is also on skill development and empowerment of women. Myself being the founder, and we have another director who's also female, so we pride ourselves in being a female-led organization.
Hey, my name is Vipan Raj Singh. I run a company or a startup which name is Jinko Mage Private Limited. So what we do is we are creating a tool or a product for fashion tech in a fashion. So for e-commerce websites and all, where you buy the clothes and you don't know, it's a kind of a Schrödinger's cat till it comes to you. You don't know if it fits good or not. I mean, every one of us has faced that problem. So we're trying to solve that problem, introducing 3D and introducing AI in it, where 3D would be used for your generative models, and then AI would be used to project clothes on that generative model. That's it.
My name is Dr. Fayaz Mohammed. I'm a vet-turned entrepreneur, founder and CEO of HelpRush. It's an AI-powered marketplace, on-demand services marketplace. We connect customers with trusted neighborhood professionals. That's it all.
Okay. So welcome to everyone. So my first question is, what made you start these startups? I think I'll start with you. What was your reason?
I would say COVID.
Okay.
So how I started was essentially in COVID. When COVID happened, I had recently lost my job due to some company restructuring. So let me give you a brief about my background. I'm an engineer and MBA by qualification. So I understand both tech as well as business and how the two merge together. Plus, I'm also a consumer of skincare and very focused on healthy skincare and clean beauty. And being a young mother 4 years ago, I was very conscious of what kind of toxic chemicals are available or present in the skincare industry or toiletries industry, because I had 2 young children. And then again, when COVID happened, everybody was very, very freaked out about, oh, we're not using toxic chemicals, so and so. So that's essentially how the idea of my business started. I was one day scrolling through Instagram and I happened to find someone who was making soaps in her kitchen. And then I realized that even I can do that. So that's how my journey started. So our product base, our product portfolio includes solid and liquid soap, shampoo, solid and liquid shampoo, conditioner, body creams. We're also going into skincare these days. So we have recently launched our Kashmiri saffron-based serum, which is very good for depigmentation of skin. But again, our focus is very much on ingredients. The quality of ingredients that we procure is top-notch. And we are also very, very focused on bringing back the botanical diversity that Kashmir offers in terms of herbal ingredients, in terms of botanical ingredients, aromatic compounds, even natural products like yak milk or goat milk or cow milk, which is freshly, the animals are free range. They grow up in a free range pasture, things like that. Then again, sustainability is one of our key focuses. So all of these have come from my experiences of being an engineer, being an entrepreneur, literally, out of fluke. If I hadn't lost my job, I don't think I would have started my company.
So something good came out of it.
Yeah. No, a lot of good came out of it, I would say. So how we started is essentially I started selling on Instagram. So I was based in Qatar at that time and literally living in a 2-room apartment with my then husband, now ex-husband, 2 children. One was 2 years old, another was a newborn, and my in-laws. So it was a pressure cooker environment. But I think that really inspired me to do something that is not only good for my children, but also good for my mental health. So soap making essentially started as an outlet for all the stress that all of us were going through. And also the fact that hand hygiene and washing hands and soaps was so much, hand sanitizers was so much being bombarded in the media. So then I was like, let's start making soaps. So I started making soaps, then put it on Instagram. Gradually, as the lockdown lifted, we started selling it directly first to consumers and then through farmers markets. And that's essentially how it took off there. It became quite popular because in Qatar, it's a very small country and the community is very small. Social media is quite powerful, so you can become famous almost overnight.
So you became famous?
I would say.
Nice.
At the time, I think I did not spend a lot of time there after that. For various reasons, personal reasons. But it really gave me an insight into what all could be done from such a simple product if it's manufactured correctly and if the value proposition is explained very clearly to the consumer. So for us, the value proposition there was, again, it's handmade, it's made in Qatar, it's made from Qatar ingredients. So we used to procure local clays, minerals, even though it's a desert, but still there is some biodiversity there also. So sidr honey and dates, all those things. I also had some saffron from Kashmir, so we used to put saffron in our products. We used to buy itr, which is very prominently available in Middle East. So we used to use itr instead of essential oils or fragrance oils. So that's how I realized that there is definitely a market for clean beauty, clean ingredients, and like a homegrown company. So I registered a company there, but then in 2022, I had to return back because I got divorced. And then I relocated to Kashmir, and then that's how the journey of Co Wellness started. So Co is actually the Arabic or Kashmiri name for mountain. I wanted to name my company Mountain Wellness, but that was not available. So we went with Co Wellness. Initially, we started with just soaps and body butters. Now we have expanded into other ingredients, other products also, and we are also now venturing into food. So for the food element, we again have homegrown products, like we have Kashmiri chili-based hot sauce, which is sugar-free, doesn't have any preservatives. It's based solely on apple cider vinegar, again made from apples in Kashmir. Then we have a probiotic drink called kombucha, which is fermented tea. So tea we get from different parts of India, like Assam, Darjeeling, Nilgiri Hills from Ooty. And the flavoring we do from, again, aromatic herbs from Kashmir. So we have rose, lavender, rosemary, seasonal fruits like apples, peach, pear. We're very keen on targeting the non-vegetarian community in Kashmir, because a lot of us deal with various health issues related to gut, like IBS, indigestion, constipation, high blood pressure, diabetes, obesity. So all of that can be minimized or maintained through the use of kombucha. It's also a very healthy replacement for soda and fizzy drinks, which are very high in sugar and not very healthy, especially for young mothers or growing children. So these are the two things we are working on in terms of the business side of things.
Yeah. So how did you get your idea? What made you start?
So what made me start is a very vague thing. So me and my
Vague thing?
Yeah, it is. I'll just explain. So AI is a thing which is emerging right now, and we all know it, okay? And I already had a company, which is a service-based company. We do post-production for a lot of e-commerce brands, some in India, some in UK, and some in US as well. So we started doing that, and we saw a rapid decline in the business. Why? Because the service-based businesses have that issue. And plus AI was coming in, especially the generative AI, and people can do it for cheap. It was a thing. So we wanted to do something with AI. We started that thing that, okay, hame bhi kuch karna hai. But sooner or later, me and my co-founder realized that, hey, we do not want to do another generative AI, which is like millions of websites right now. You put some prompt there, and then it generates an image for you. Voila. We do not want to do that. So what we decided was, we thought that why don't we just solve a problem which is persistent from ages, but couldn't be solved because the tech wasn't there. So we thought of making a product, and this is where the idea came in, and this is where the vagueness was done for, right? So what we decided and what we thought, because we were in the e-commerce industry, we knew that, okay, returns is a big thing. It's a big curse in the industry. And just to give you an idea, around $200 billion is every year's loss in fashion e-commerce every year. So we tried to solve that problem by changing the experience. Okay, so this is where the brand's name came in. So Jinko in Japanese means artificial, and Mage is magician. Okay, so we thought of it, and we thought let's try to solve this problem at its core, but giving an experience as a part of it, not the tech. So tech would be there to drive the product, but the overall thing will be just an experience. So we all know we shop online just looking at 4 or 5 images, front, back, top, whatever, and then you shop it. So we wanted to change that experience. How about an interactive experience of fashion, right? Maybe you see your avatar. Okay, it's a digital avatar, so we didn't want it to make it one-on-one. We wanted to make it a caricature kind of thing. But sooner or later, I mean, we'll decide upon that how exactly it works, because psychology is a big thing here. Because when you see clothes, you don't just buy clothes by looking at it. It's a lot of factors. Okay, some people like baggy clothes, some people like, so a perfect fit on a model will never work. Okay, because some people just don't like that look. So style is a big thing. So that's where we did a lot of research. We did a lot of surveys and all. And this is where we came to know, okay, and then we started doing, and right now we are in prototyping stage, and we are trying to get ourselves through MVP, and this is where we are struggling right now, because we have bootstrapped, and a deep tech startup, you need a lot of R&D, right? And to R&D, I don't think so anyone has that deep pockets. Maybe some people have, but I don't have that. So to run the GPUs and all. So yeah, this is where we are right now, and this is where the idea came from. Yeah.
My story is pretty ordinary in one sense, but also extraordinary in another sense. It goes back to 2015 when I decided to quit from my MNC job. I was based out of Bangalore, and I decided to return to Kashmir. When I came here, we were building our home. Because I was based out of Kashmir for some period of time, so I was not connected with the local ecosystem of workers or experts. Like I needed one engineer or interior designer or structural engineer, plumbers, masons. So I found it pretty hard to discover them. And not only discovery, the ones I discovered, I was not sure about their skill set. Then negotiating prices with them, I thought it's a very difficult process. I lost my time because I wanted to focus on my thing. I'm a veterinarian. I wanted to focus on my job, but now I have to run after the experts, the handymen, the masons, carpenters, and other people. This is when I thought about a marketplace, about an app, about a digital solution. If we have a platform where people can list their jobs and the platform will verify their skills and identities, and we could hire them, professionals like me who are always short on time. So we could book them online, hire them, and platform sorts out rest of the things for us. There is a verification system, there is a rating and review system, everything. This is when I conceived the idea of this system for Kashmir to begin with. It took me a lot of time because I'm not an engineer by training. I'm a doctor, veterinary medical professional. So I started doing sketches on paper, reaching out to people, how this tech is built, what is coding, what is programming. I learned some of it. And finally, last year only, in June, we launched our prototype and we got a huge, amazing response from Kashmir. In just 4 or 5 days, we got 1,800 service providers from Srinagar alone who wanted to list with us. And we have currently 550 verified service providers with more than 300 bookings and everything that's going on. And that was a prototype. Now we are building actual marketplace, which is powered by AI, which is, by the way, India's first truly open AI-powered marketplace. We have services marketplaces, but they are closed. This is truly open. Open to businesses, open to experts, open to everybody. This is it.
Well, I was deeply interested, or I would say in love with computers and the softwares from the beginning. Beginning in the sense, since I got introduced to the computers back in around 2005-06. But I couldn't pursue a career out of it because I was around in the 10th standard at that point of time, and we would not have these computer centers that much prevalent here. Then, but the love for computers, it was there. And while I did my 12th, I completed my graduation in biotechnology. Then, in one way or another way, I got myself into the computer science. And I post-graduated in computer science in Mohali. And I started a job as a programmer there. Let's wait for it. So I started working as a programmer initially in a software company at Mohali. And I think within 8 months, I got promoted from a programmer to project manager. And I would look after everything, how software is goes from the ideation to the delivery phase. So that was a time when I equipped myself with the knowledge how the software company works. And then I had my own ideas, but our company was the company that I was working in. They had different paths, they had different business models. And then after 2 years, I quit from that job and started Logic Paradise Softwares, where I would initially take on the projects, software projects. And that was the time when I got introduced to the e-commerce of it, how the e-commerce works. And we got some projects that few of our clients needed this repricer. They would use for their Amazon marketplaces, Amazon businesses, to increase the sales, to win the buy boxes and take advantage out of it. And we as technology developers would see how it is impacting them. I mean, how they would go from 1x to 100x in quite some time. And after some time, we decided that we should build a product that would not just help these particular requests, but it should help general public. It should help some new sellers, someone who is going to have a business on Amazon, but he is not able to make sales. He is not able to generate revenue from it. And eventually we launched it. The Insta Repricer in a closed group in 2022. And when the people started using it, and we saw that their sales increasing. And after that, it has been like 4 or 5 months, we have launched that Insta Repricer in India as well. And we have decided to go global because it works for all the Amazon marketplaces everywhere in the world. So that's a small thing that we're doing.
All right. How did you start?
So after completing my education, my computer engineering 2015, I then started working with a software company, US-based software company, so as to get to know how technology business works basically. Because technology business is one of those businesses where scale is very smooth. You can easily scale up to millions and millions of people across boundaries. So after working there for 2 years, the zeal was more into like कुछ नया करना है, कुछ different करना है, technology है. And it was the phase that 2016 का lockdown था. Then I started working with a hydropower company, जो कि मेरा domain नहीं था उस time पे. Then I worked there for 4 years as a liaison officer. तो अब मैं गवर्नमेंट साइड से भी इंटरेक्ट करने लगा कि क्या कंप्लाइंसेस होते हैं, क्या चीज़ें हैं. तो उस टाइम पे एक चीज़ फिगर आउट मैंने की कि अगर लाइक उस टाइम पे लॉकडाउन्स बहुत थे, तो आई स्टार्टेड वर्किंग आउट कि JNK में ऐसा क्या होना चाहिए कि दैट हमें एक पूरी जोग्राफी में एक यूनिकनेस पे लेके आए. लाइक द कश्मीरी शॉल्स अब बहुत पुराना हो चुका है. ऐसी कोई यूनिक चीज़ क्या है जिसके लिए पूरा इंडिया हमें बोले कि यार ये हमें चाहिए. तो आई फिगर्ड आउट कि इट इज़ द हाइड्रो पावर सेक्टर. We are blessed with the natural beauty, but then it again is a capital intensive. Like on an average, 1 megawatt cost you around 12 crores. तो छोटा पैसा नहीं है, but then the revenue it's 24/7 आपका हमेशा आएगा. तो उस चीज़ को रियलाइज़ करते करते काफ़ी टाइम चला गया कि भाई ये है, और इतना पैसा रेज नहीं हो रहा था. Then I decided कि नहीं, मैं एक बार टेक में वापस जाता हूँ. So I started working with service-based companies. I worked for companies such as PVR Cinemas, US की कुछ companies के लिए, private equity companies के लिए जो software develop करते हैं, तो उनके साथ काम किया. Then I decided कि अब कुछ अपना करना है. Now वो जो एक knowledge base चाहिए था कि execution कैसे होनी है. Lot of business fails because उनकी execution सही नहीं होती. तो वो टेक का एक मिल गया, compliances का वो आ गया. तो then I decided with my wife कि what do you say, should I start something, क्योंकि मेरे को छोड़ना पड़ेगा अपना job उस टाइम पे. तो देन शी सेड कि आई विल टेक केयर ऑफ घर का जो भी बजट रहेगा, क्योंकि हमारा इमरजेंसी फंड है वो 6-7 महीने का है. कंप्लाइंसेस इटसेल्फ विल टेक अस लाइक अ ईयर और सो. तो आई आस्क्ड हर कि व्हाट डू यू से. तो शी सेड दैट आई विल सपोर्ट यू वेदर फाइनेंशियली किसी भी चीज़ में. सो शी इज़ ऑल्सो माई को फाउंडर, एंड एट द सेम शी इज़ करेंटली वर्किंग इन वन ऑफ द बिग फोर्स. टेक्निकली वी कैन नॉट ऑन बोर्ड हर ऑब्वियसली, बट देन वो हमारा CTO का रोल निभाती है वहाँ पे. तो वहाँ से एक चीज़ शुरू हुई कि हमें कहीं ना कहीं से जो ये सारी पिक्चर मैंने आपको बताई, टूरिज्म सेंट्रिक नियो बैंक है, हाइड्रो पावर है, इस सब में बहुत सारे कंप्लाइंसेस हैं. बट देन एक बार अगर आपकी एंट्री इसमें हो जाती है, द स्केल इज़ ह्यूज. आई वुड से कि एक दिन में 1 करोड़ ट्रांजैक्शंस को अगर आप मोनेटाइज कर पा रहे हो, द स्केल इज़ अनइमेजिनेबल. तो वो चीज़ हमने रियलाइज़ जल्दी कर लिया. तो ये 1.5 साल हमें हुआ. लाइक वी आर नॉट अर्निंग एनीथिंग बिकॉज वी आर स्टक विद कंप्लाइंसेस. बट वंस द कंप्लाइंसेस आर डन, I mean, वो बैंक के उस अग्रीमेंट की वजह से द वैल्यू दैट विल रीच इट्स ह्यूज. तो इस चीज़ में इनिशियली बहुत चैलेंजेस थे. घर वाले बोल रहे थे कि ये क्या कर रहे हो, सब कुछ छोड़ के, अच्छी सारी सैलरी थी, घर में बैठे हो, बैंक वालों के पास जाना, फिर बैंक वाले बोलते हैं हम नहीं करेंगे. देन वी से कि नहीं करना है, आपकी पॉलिसी है, ये करना ही करना है. तो इट टुक अस लाइक ऑलमोस्ट 18 months टू मेक देम कन्विंस कि करो, एक बार ट्राई तो करो, पायलट में ही तो आ जाओ. तो नाउ वी हैव सीन कि एक पॉजिटिव चेंज हमारे साइड से कि भाई अब हम they opened an expression of interest.
So what is about that change? Is it that because you were persistent?
I was persistent, that's why. When I met the vice president, वो कहते यार 1 साल से लड़का हमारे दरवाजे पे आ रहा है और हम इसको बोलते नहीं करना है, बट ये बोलता सर एक मौका तो मिलना चाहिए. तो अब तो कुछ ना कुछ हमें देखना चाहिए कि अगर ये इतने कन्विक्शन के साथ बोल रहा है, मे भी कुछ सच में कर लेगा ये. तो वो एक चीज़ था. एंड द मीनवाइल आई मेट विद लॉट ऑफ पीपल जिन्होंने मुझे फिर अपना एक बताया कि यार इसमें ये जोड़ दो, इसमें आप ये कर लो. येस बैंक के ग्रुप हेड से मिले, HDFC के फिनटेक फेस्ट अटेंड किया, तो बहुत सारा एक एम्पावरमेंट मिला कि यार आपकी बिजनेस की वैलिडेशन अच्छे से हो जाएगी. जनरली हम एक प्रोडक्ट लेके मार्केट में जाते हैं, फिर वैलिडेशन करते हैं. तो उन्होंने बोला इस चीज़ में वैलिडेशन नहीं, इफ़ यू हैव द टाई अप यू आर डन, सब सॉर्टेड है आपके लिए. तो वहाँ से एक एम्पावरमेंट था, एक एनकरेजमेंट था. एंड नाउ वी सी कि थोड़ा सा
डिस्करेजमेंट कहाँ से था?
डिस्करेजमेंट तो कंप्लाइंसेस से ही था मैम। लाइक जब हम इनिशियली जब हम टीपैप लाइसेंस एक्वायर करना चाह रहे थे, जिसके थ्रू आप समझिए जो स्कैन्स एनेबल हो जाते हैं, तो वो लाइसेंसेस पहले इतना उसमें कंप्लाइंस नहीं था। आज की डेट में 5-6 करोड़ चाहिए सो दैट आपका स्कैन अपना रहे, आप स्कैन की वो NPCI की वो ले सके लाइसेंस। तो बट उसमें भी बहुत चैलेंजेस आ गए। जब हमने फिनटेक फेस्ट अटेंड किया तो वहाँ पता चला कि इसको एनुअली मेंटेन करने के लिए जो इसके और रेगुलेशन कंप्लाइंसेस है वो 50-60 लाख है जो आपको बस जला दे रहे हैं एनुअली। तो इन्वेस्टर इस चीज़ के लिए तो पैसा देगा नहीं। तो वी हैव टू फिगर आउट कि अब हम कोई यूनिक सर्विस ऐसी दें तो तब हमारा वो नियो बैंकिंग और टूरिज्म सेंट्रिक, और जिसमें हम कल को वो जब कंप्लाइंसेस कंप्लीट हो जाएंगे वील हैव द लाइसेंसेस, ताकि हम फिर वो हाइड्रो पावर के लिए छोटे छोटे बल्क में पैसा लेके वो डाल सके। आपने मतलब अक्सर देखा होगा कि बॉम्बे में भी जो लोग हैं जिन्होंने पैसा बनाया होता है, कुछ टाइम के बाद बोलते हैं अब हम पैसा किस में डालें, और ये बहुत बड़ा प्रॉब्लम है रियली। जो लोग पैसा बना रहे हैं कि 1 करोड़ है कहाँ डालूँ। अब अगर मैं आपको आज की डेट में बताऊं कि एवरेज में इंडिया में शादी में मतलब 25 लाख का खर्चा हो रहा है। अगर कोई ऐसा बॉन्ड हो जैसे हाइड्रो पावर का, क्योंकि ये एक फिक्स्ड एसेट है, अगर आप 10 लाख रुपीज़ एक हाइड्रो पावर डेवलपमेंट में लगा रहे हैं तो आई कैन गारंटी यू कि आपको 40 ईयर्स तक मतलब 20,000 40,000 ये मंथली आपको मिलेगा उसमें। ऑब्वियसली इसमें 1.5 साल की गैप रहेगी फॉर द बिल्डअप। उसके बाद लाइक अगर पावर परचेज अग्रीमेंट 20 ईयर्स का है, 40 ईयर्स का, आपको पैसा आपका 30 तारीख को मिल जाएगा। एंड द बेस्ट पार्ट अबाउट इट इज़ कि पहले 10 साल वो टैक्स फ्री है। नो मैटर आप 10 करोड़ कमा रहे हैं, 12 करोड़ कर रहे हैं, हाइड्रो पावर में JNK में इट्स टैक्स फ्री फॉर फर्स्ट 10 ईयर्स। तो इस सब का आइडिया वहाँ से ही आया था। बट इसका एक एंट्री पॉइंट चाहिए क्योंकि बहुत बड़ी पिक्चर है।
So I mean, आप अपना बताएं story, but I also want to ask this question on, is there a motivation to start your startup because subsidies मिल रही है, or is the motivation because कुछ करना है?
करना है ऑब्वियसली। पेन पॉइंट आइडेंटिफाई करके सोल्यूशन जब कंसीव करते हैं, दैट बिजनेस इज ओनली सक्सेसफुल। दैट इज हाउ व्हाट स्टार्टअप इज, नॉट सब्सिडीज। वी आर नॉट गेटिंग एनी सब्सिडीज फ्रॉम एनीवेयर।
If subsidy is the motivation, then it will, after you have received it, it will definitely fail because you don't know how to scale it, even more. तो I believe motivation उसके आगे का।
हाँ, इनसे अगर पूछ सकती हूँ, हाँ बताएं।
Actually, I am a commerce graduate, postgraduate commerce. So I have been a banker. I have worked with ICICI Bank to Mumbai. Then I worked with Yes Bank. Then my final stay was with Vodafone. But actually, what I personally feel that in banking, it's a very vast industry. But if I am an officer, I am a vice president, whatever I am at the post, the thing is that there is a given system. You can't go beyond that system. So if you have some innovations, if you have some
different
something,
ideas,
something to do, you can't do it in that industry. Even if you take any other industry, means you will be given a defined role, so you have to just go.
that's all you have.
Yeah, that's it. So in 2010, an idea came to my mind that I am a commerce graduate, so in the area of almost where I live, it's a 4 lakh population, 5 lakh population, and there is a fruit industry means that the core of fruit industry where I live, it's at Shopian. So the problem what I found, as this gentleman was saying, the compliance part. For example, if I have to register a startup, there's a huge list of compliance I have to go, then I'll be registered. Likewise, the GST compliance, the company formation, the audit part, the legal part, if you have to register LLP, all those things which are correlated with finance. So I started that startup, and I then because actually it's a work of CAs, but in our geography, the market is so much of it's not so organized. So we thought, let's do one thing. If we have 20 CAs in Valley and we have 2 CAs in Valley, let us coordinate with them. The clients will come to us, and in fact we have good number of clients. So then we used to take their advice, and then guide these investors or startups or entrepreneurs. So then this journey began. So thankfully right now I have a clientele of almost 300.
300?
Yes. And
only
it's not
for the valley?
Yeah. It's not in my town only. I have some clients in Srinagar, and we have 3 startups on which we have worked. One is doing with business with solar energy. Another is medical center, I mean a mini hospital, and one more is with solar powered energy. So we mentor them, we take care of their accounts and all that. But now, next level is that we want to integrate it with technology. Means, as Dr. Sava was saying too, there is a dearth of, means the demand is there, but actually the channel is not properly. Like say stores, they have to go to Delhi, they have to go to this for project to person, all those things. So we are trying that to fill that gap out. So that's the main thing.
Okay. So, is there an advantage of, being located here, or would you have preferred that, it was a different location, especially jo tech startups kar rahe hain? Is there good quality of talent, office space? Are these the problems or koi problem nahi hai?
Yeah, I think talent is there, but yes, the environment, the policies, the situations is not there. And plus one problem is there. Talent is there, but the finding of the talent, the right talent is I think that's a bit difficult, because in Kashmir particularly we have a culture of most people go to the government jobs. Now that trend has changed, but this is what I feel.
Ecosystem is pretty weak. All the major factors which play a key
Weak or
role.
new?
Yeah, it's new. It is new and it's not growing, right? So you don't have talent. That is one problem, because the good guys who have the skills, they work for MNCs, they move to Bangalore, Hyderabad and other cities. So we are left without any significant talent pool, local talent pool. And the second, the problem is, the weather, the connectivity. Many startups face issues. For example, we don't have a dry port. So if you want to export, you have to move to Nhava Sheva, Mumbai, or to Allahabad or Delhi. There's another problem. The road network is poor. Electricity issue is there. And then the incubators. They are there. That's a recent phenomena. But still we lack that mentorship. For example, I talk about my own sector. This is like startup opportunity in adversity also. Because we don't have a platform here. You have urban company, you have so many startups there in India, but we don't have one here. So opportunities are huge, but those who can crack the code and build products, real products, impactful startups, it is pretty difficult here because of lack of talent and lack of access to funding as well. Because a lot of investors run away when they hear about a company which is based out of Srinagar. They think this is a problem area, so why should we go there and invest in businesses? These are some issues which I have experienced as a founder.
Yeah, I think I agree with him. I have faced the same issues. Connectivity is a major issue because for me, I have a small manufacturing setup in my home, and our plan is to expand it because, of course, the demand for the product is quite good, both pan-India and exports. But then again, if I have to import any raw material, when I say import, I mean get out from outside Kashmir, it doubles my cost of production because the shipping from anywhere into Kashmir is very expensive. Secondly, the labor market here is, like he said, like we do have talented people, but they're all outside Kashmir, myself included. I have left Kashmir in 2007. And then I came back in 2022, that too on a whim. There was no plan of coming in Kashmir and investing here. So that is one thing. Again, infrastructure-wise, the connectivity of roads, water and power supply, getting permissions from the government to set up a manufacturing unit, compliances, all of that is true. But having said that, there's also a flip side that because the market or the region is so green in terms of any startups or ecosystem, it also gives us the opportunity to do something which will be like a founding stone for the people who will be coming after us. So because there's nothing here, so it's all the more beneficial that we should do something.
Pioneer, so you guys are the pioneers.
And also that it also helps, especially for me, because I'm a woman in a FMCG sector, it's very easy to get eyeballs because you are maybe if the 6 or 7 of us are here talking about this venture that we have, each of our ventures. When people from outside Kashmir see, they will also try to contact us only because there's not a lot of talent pool here or there's not a lot of competition for us. So if, like you said, there are some angel investors or people who have some disposable income but they want to invest, for us it's easy to grab them because there is nobody else compared to a place like Bombay or Bangalore or Mumbai where everybody is there, where it's like the competition is huge. So I think it's a mixed bag. So we have to definitely fight our battles, but whatever opportunities we have because of being in a green environment like Kashmir, we can definitely leverage that.
Well, I would like to add some points over this, that generally when we start a business, there is a 50-50 chance of like whether it will be a success or a failure. But in J&K, I would say you have a 90% or 80% chance of making it success or a failure. If it is successful, then it will be definitely highly successful. The reason for that is that we are a very small population compared to the geography, like 1.2 crore or 1 crore. But at the same time, we have around 6 lakh government people who are working in the government employees, I mean to say. So that is a huge boost to the overall economy. That's why when there is a 6-month lockdown, there is no one who is hungry or dies of starvation, poverty. So that money keeps us moving the economy. So if somehow there is a product, and I believe why tech is the best thing, because there is zero delivery cost. As you said that there is a cost associated with the imports like transit and logistics. Tech has zero delivery cost. Let's say any transaction happens, you stick an ad to it. Transactions are happening, they will always happen. No matter there is COVID,
it's not
whatever.
zero delivery to nahi hai. It costs money.
I agree. I would like
tech
to say,
is also expensive.
Right. I agree. But like in our case, I would say that we are partners. We look forward to be partners with the banks जहाँ पे transactions हो रही हैं. वो transactions मैं नहीं कर रहा हूँ. People are doing that. और मैं उसके पीछे एक reward लगा रहा हूँ. आपकी 1000 की चीज़ 900 में मिल रही है. तो मेरा delivery cost कितना है? एक टाइम का integration charge. That is 25 lakh.
You have to acquire the customer. इतना आसान भी नहीं है.
I agree, but
इतना आसान होता तो सभी कर रहे होते हैं.
HDFC, ICICI ये करके छोड़ दिया था क्योंकि उनकी इंटीग्रेशन थोड़ा एक्सपेंसिव थी. लेकिन क्योंकि हमारा जो लोकल वेंडर टाइप है ये बड़ा यूनिक है, जो पूरे इंडिया में लाइक आपको अमेजोन का मिल जाएगा, ऑनलाइन के आपको मिल जाएंगे, बट ऑफलाइन नहीं मिलेगा. आज का पेन पॉइंट ये है कि ई-कॉमर्स की वजह से लोकल इंडस्ट्री पूरे इंडिया में बंद पड़ी है, जबकि वो आपको बेटर डिस्काउंट्स दे रहे हैं. लाइक मैंने कुछ चीज़ शॉप की श्रीनगर लाल चौक में जियो स्टोर से, जियो मार्ट स्टोर से, वो मेरे को ऑनलाइन से सस्ता पड़ रहा है, लेकिन उसमें अब मेरे को शॉप पे जाना पड़ रहा है. वो एक चीज़ है, बट सस्ता मिल रहा है. अगर किसी को ये पता चल जाए कि यार आपकी विसिनिटी में आपको सस्ता मिल रहा है, पीपल विल डेफिनेटली गो फॉर इट. तो हम उस मार्केट को कैप्चर कर रहे हैं. उसमें मेरा वन टाइम का कॉस्ट है, उसमें मेरा डिलीवरी कॉस्ट इंक्लूड नहीं. पीपल आर देमसेल्व्स मूविंग आउट और फिर ले रहे हो. तो मेरे लिए वो वन टाइम है कि ऑनबोर्डिंग का कॉस्ट वन टाइम आता है मेरा उसमें. तो और दूसरा आपने जो कहा कि लाइक बाहर से डिफरेंट क्या है यहाँ पे, डेफिनेटली एक जो इनिशियल चैलेंज था जो कि टेक्नोलॉजी एक प्लेटफॉर्म बिल्डअप करने का है. व्हेन आई इनिशियली स्टार्टेड कि एक प्लेटफॉर्म बनाना है कि इसको कैसे करेंगे, तो जो कॉस्ट मेरे को यहाँ पे अपने लोगों के जो श्रीनगर में बेस्ड कंपनीज थी उनसे जो कॉस्ट आया उसका 1/4 कॉस्ट मेरे को गुड़गांव में लगा. तो आई फिगर्ड आउट कि यार आउटसोर्सिंग में तो मतलब मेरे को बहुत कम पड़ रहा है, और अगर मेरा इनिशियल मतलब गो टू मार्केट प्रोडक्ट मेरा सस्ता पड़ रहा है, आई थिंक आउटसोर्सिंग इज़ द बेस्ट ऑप्शन. रिगार्डिंग जो आप बोल रहे थे कि यहाँ पे रिसोर्सेज है नहीं है, बहुत अच्छे रिसोर्सेज है. आई हैव सीन मतलब ब्रिलियंट कश्मीरीज डूइंग गुड अमाउंट ऑफ, बहुत अच्छा टैलेंट है, बट क्योंकि उनके चार्जेस ज़्यादा रहते हैं, दे डेफिनेटली ट्राई टू मूव आउट ऑफ J&K, क्योंकि यहाँ वैसा नहीं है. देयर आर आई बिलीव 1 or 2 कंपनीज जिन्होंने बहुत बड़ा नाम किया है. One of them is BQE Software, which is a multi-million-dollar company based in US. It is ranked among top 10 companies that develops that CRMs and all of that. तो I would not say कि यहाँ पे talent नहीं है, but एक ecosystem की ज़रूरत है, एक hand holding की ज़रूरत है. गवर्नमेंट के साइड से थोड़ा इसको IT को लेके थोड़ा strongly कोई एक system की ज़रूरत है that promotes IT. तो वो चीज़ यहाँ पे नहीं है.
So this is the point in this program where it's open for you, any of you, if you have questions to ask me. So if there are any questions, I'm happy to answer. Anybody has any
Questions related to
anything you want to ask? Anything?
Help us get funding. All of us need funding.
Yeah, well, I should have qualified that saying I can give an answer, but not necessarily make it happen. Let me be honest. See, look, funding is a function of every founder has to try. And India is still an undercapitalized country when it comes to risk capital. So it's not easy for any founder, but one has to try and find, as many likely investors as possible.
मेरा क्वेश्चन रहेगा, आई विल बी फोकस्ड ऑन माई ओन स्टार्टअप. जो ऑन डिमांड सर्विसेज हैं इंडिया में, we have like $450 billion market as the data which I saw. We don't have any significant player. I mean, say one or two people have dominated the sector. It is still largely fragmented market. What do you think are the challenges? We have used AI for the onboarding and to improve the quality. We have a provider level system. We have got the data from the market. We have got our idea validated. What do you think are the challenges we should keep in mind, or why in India we don't have cashed on this opportunity in the services sector? What are the challenges?
So, I mean, I'm not an expert on your sector for on-demand services, but broadly, if I say about anything that where there's only one player or two players that seem to be dominating the market, even though the market size is very large, it's normally because execution is not as good. See, in India, execution is far more difficult than it would be elsewhere, because I mean, you know, he's spoken a lot about compliances. He's spoken about so imagine, like, just compliances itself is so time consuming, and you know, so execution takes up a lot of time. There are so many big and small problems that come in your way in delivering of that service. So tech helps you to a point, right, in India. The last mile, what I would call in this case also the last mile, which is the actual service provider. It's also the person giving that quality, you know, sticking to so-called the rules. We don't like to follow rules as a country. Like, everybody wants to, you know, sort of try and be too clever by half. I think एक ये बहुत बड़ा problem है. I think somebody asked Abhiraj, who's the founder of Urban Company, that don't people, you know, your service providers, don't they directly start taking sort of business? So the fact is that after so many years, after he's done such a good job of, you know, aggregation, giving business, training, if that's still a question, it says a lot about us, you know, as a country, more than about what the opportunity is. So execution is not easy in India. And that could be true for any sector, but specifically in this, you know, aggregation and service, where there's a big service element, it's very hard. So I think that's why a lot of founders get tired and they feel that it's not going to work.
Can I add something here? You spoke brilliantly about the UC scenario and how the social issue, like exploitation angle, so-called, and how people, they don't earn much, and he was asked a lot of questions.
No, I didn't say about exploitation. That's not what I said. I said that when the service provider speaks directly to the consumer and tries to say that, look, I'll service you directly and not through the platform. Now, that's a breach of trust, because if you have agreed to the platform terms as a service provider, yeah, so I did not speak about it.
No, I'm talking about a different angle. While doing our research...
Yeah, but let's not... See, the founder is not here, so it's not fair to talk about...
We're not talking about UC, general scenario. If I talk about my own startup, many people were of the opinion here, reluctant initially, you will be earning from us. Like, we have to give like a commission or platform fee to you, so we'll directly do it with the people, you know, customers. So, हम जो लेके आए, our value proposition was different. We told them we are socially responsible. We will not do in the traditional manner. मैंने खुद देखा था, we had a carpenter, some 50-year-old, और वो किसी की यहाँ पे roofs लगाते, rooftops, and he fell down from the rooftop. He was injured, bedridden. So, ना तो social security, ना family का caretaker, ना he was ruined like virtually. So we made from initial, हमने क्या करा कि social security means कि pensions and mandatory insurance, and then we offered an open platform. You want to speak to customers, you do it, but you lose our trust. Do it. We offer this much of security: your social security, medical insurance, your trainings. We will cooperate and coordinate with brands to train you in the latest project and offerings. Let us do it together as a gig economy. In Kashmir, we have a huge level of unemployment, 34%, according to recent data. So we need to build, formalize the informal sector. We can partner with these service providers in a win-win situation brilliantly.
No, but you see, आपको वो solution win-win लग रहा है. It's a far more complex issue. Like I said, we are a low trust society. तो क्या होता है, the other side is not able to understand, and change is always uncomfortable in India. अब Q-commerce के बारे में there's so much negative. Matlab, look, if the customer need was not there, it won't survive, right? It's not that they're deliberately forcing people ki order from us, order in 10 minutes. They're not doing that. So there is a lot of negativity when somebody tries to do something differently. And all the stakeholders are not able to understand, which is why I'm saying India mein execution is very, very tough. Very, very tough. To carry everybody along that you need at a bare minimum to make your startup a success is actually, to my mind, the toughest part. Funding log bolte hain. To my mind, funding is not that critical to your survival as, first of all, making sure, because making sure that all the stakeholders are on board with you. वही नहीं आते पहले तो देन आप फंडिंग के लिए तो कभी जाओगे ना वंस यू गॉट समथिंग इन प्लेस सो द रीज़न वी एंड अप बिकमिंग sort of a monopoly or a duopoly that what we've seen is because of that. Very few people are able to really go the entire distance and really execute. Execution is really, really tough in India.
I think the funding is okay, but I think if you have a reputation, actually, I mean to say, technology is okay, but some things you won't find on Google, actually. For example, in routine, I have a client, he wants to open he wants to have a CS store, or he wants to have some to start a business. So now he wants to have some information or some consultation or some expert advice on this. How to do this? What is the cost of this? What is the compliance? What is this? So he has to come to an.
But are they willing to pay for that expert advice? No, na? They'll say.
No. I'm talking in general. Yes.
No, even I'm talking in
clients,
general.
in fact, they do the pay. ऐसा नहीं हर कोई client ऐसा नहीं होता है. Some actually there is what we are talking, Dr. Saab, ki the thing, if you are serious and if you are ambitious and if you have a vision line, then
execution is so difficult. But so अगर ambition है and you have a vision, then you are able to overcome those difficulties. A lot of people think कि अब नहीं होगा तो let it be. Which is
like in J&K, tourism sector is okay, but it's not even contributing 10% of GDP, whereas horticulture is contributing more than 30%. So, and in financial industry, I think it's a three more than $2 trillion industry, but it's untapped actually. So
करने के लिए इंडिया में बहुत कुछ है.
Yes.
It's just that
opportunities do have, but
नहीं, it's about execution.
Yes.
See, करने के लिए there's no shortage.
If the plan is clear, it will be easy to do it, and people will definitely put their money, because once people, I mean, as an investor, if you get to know that my money will be 3x in this much of time, because the plan is clear, the implementation part is clear. So I would say that it will be, I mean, it will definitely be a success.
Consistency is very important.
Yeah, of course. अगर आप आज एक दिन ये कर रहे हो, दूसरे दिन कुछ और कर रहे हो, तीसरे दिन बोल दो नहीं करूँगा, फिर चौथे दिन फिर से शुरू कर रहे हो, then yeah, that's what I'm saying. See, the instinct that happens in India is because normally families are not very supportive, or the environment is not very supportive everywhere. I mean, it's not just here in J&K. Then you also feel that, why am I dealing with so many problems? Like, it's literally that you're inviting problems as a founder. So you think कि चलो इससे अच्छा एक नौकरी कर लेते हैं, at least it's safe. लोगों को बताने के लिए कि I work for X organization, Y organization. घर वालों को भी लगता है चलो there's no problem about money. So it's a lot about that. That's why people also give up. कि let me go and go in a safe sort of.
I think, and also like we mentioned, like in terms of ecosystem, or the fact that we are not a startup country still. If we talk about which country is the entrepreneurial best, is of course USA or maybe Germany and Luxembourg, you can say right now. इंडिया में अभी वो कल्चर है भी नहीं कि स्टार्टअप को तो मतलब वो इज्जत भी नहीं दी जाती है. पहली बात वो. दूसरी बात, गवर्नमेंट के भी आई नो स्कीम्स हैं बहुत सारी, बट हाउ डू यू टैप इनटू दैट स्कीम? द स्कीम्स हैव गिवन फंडिंग टू द डिसबर्सिंग ऑर्गेनाइजेशन. But are the disbursing organization actually that engaged with people like us? Like nobody has approached me till now, if I tell you, even though मेरा उतना मतलब marketing मैंने किया नहीं है, but the product that we have, it's a very visible product and something that people can use easily. It's a very tangible product. It's very easy to manufacture. It doesn't require a lot of capital intensive environment. Labor भी उतना ज़्यादा नहीं है. A lot of automation can be done. But then again, do we have that pull from an ecosystem कि हाँ जी आप आइए जैसे सिलिकॉन वैली की तरह वैसे कुछ तो नहीं है ना. We don't have anything of that.
Silicon Valley भी अगर आप देखेंगे, when did it start? Look at the decades and decades that they have a head start on. So comparison is a bit unfair. India में देखेंगे. So when founders, the first, I would call them the first generation of founders, जो roughly around 2000 when they started getting investments in the .com boom. Now that generation में से जो भी आए बाहर निकल के who made a lot of money, they started investing. Now in the last 5, 7, 8 years, the next generation of founders who made money, they are investing in founders. So you need time, you need few decades for the cycle to start getting activated. And then abhi ek do level hi shuru hua hai, right? For it to really become pan India, it takes time. It's not an overnight success.
My startup is deep tech, okay, and Silicon Valley is something that could have been amazing for me because doing R&D, buying GPUs for writing AI, right? It requires a lot of computing power, and bootstrapping it through is just near impossible. I can tell you, I have a gaming PC and the GPU inside is 1,20,000 rupees. Okay, so just GPU. Imagine having such a GPUs for like 10 PCs. You easily burn a lot of cash. Okay, so what happens is a Silicon Valley or a platform like that could make the startup's life easier, but it's not there. The other thing that I think is the mindset needs to also change. I'm speaking it very broadly. Why? Because I think that the tech.
ये सवाल है, opinion है.
It's just an opinion, but it's a question for you. Okay, how long it will take? Okay, let's make it a question. What do you think about it? Okay, so what I think is the government sectors which invest in startups, they just have few, like they said, there is GDP driven startups like जो agro में होंगे या जो fintech में होंगे, they not like, but usually they just invest in those kind of startups. Okay, purely tech startups, especially in fashion, government will be like, no, I don't want it. So why is that?
But why is there so much dependence on government? You know,
no, I'm not saying.
but एक चीज I'm just saying मैंने notice करी है in the last 2 days of talking. There's a lot of expectation कि government ये करे वो करे.
Absolutely correct.
And but आप बोल रहे हो कि सरकारी नौकरी, आप सरकारी नौकरी ना करे हुए भी you're expecting government to. The whole point of being a founder is to find solutions, not to be dependent on the government.
Absolutely.
I think this is driven with the one fact, that is that you do not have to dissolve your equity with government. You can ask for grants.
No, but that can't be the... See, again, if your mindset is grants, and that is also a wrong mindset, honestly speaking. Grants से किसी ने company नहीं बनाई आज तक.
In fact, I receive so many mails, this grants and government funds, and I tell them no, I'm not interested. Actually, I think जो मैंने आपसे पहले भी ना what I shared the opinion, if you are very loyal to your startup, means it's just like a baby. I'll just share something. When I was working at ICICI Bank in 2009, 2010, I tried to get to the big fours. EY, KPMG and all that, but I couldn't. Means I tried my level best. Anyways, it is destiny. In 2003, I received a call from EY. I did nothing. They said, okay, Niyaz, we want to just take you, but I tell them, no, I am not interested right now. Otherwise, EY it's a huge brand name. The crux of this is that when I thought, no, I have to just insist, I have to just resist, I have to just sustain with my whatever I have. If I just go now 2 years, give, and then I come back, it will just finish. So I think that seriousness is very important.
It's very important.
The determination is very important.
Very important. Very, very
I wanted to add something here. As a founder, like I forgot to mention initially, when I returned, I was working for a US MNC. I came back to Kashmir. It is about execution part. So I wanted to do something in my own area. So currently, millions of people die due to AMR, antimicrobial resistance. And USDA says that 80% of the antibiotics which are produced are used in the animal sector, livestock sector, for sub-therapeutic purposes. So I wanted to make something to replace in-feed antimicrobials. So it took me like 5 years. But I finally came up with a product which is used in food animals to replace painkiller, synthetic painkillers. And I have another company, actually I'm founder of that as well, it's Truett. There's an animal healthcare company. 80% of our revenue comes from that single product. So we used cutting edge technology to identify the bioactive extract, identified it, then developed it into a finished product, and we are now exporting it to more than 15 countries. So execution calls for patience. When the hope dries up, you still stick, you believe in your idea and dream. I get my inspiration from Hyderabad, from Bangalore. I believe India is the world leader in technology. Nobody can beat us. I don't know about Silicon Valley, but I think the DNA of Silicon Valley is in Bangalore. That comes from Hyderabad, that comes from us, that comes from India. So we should go there and learn from those. I spend half of the time in Hyderabad. So when I meet people, they are always brimming with ideas. They are so passionate. So I take my inspiration from those places. I don't, like, government can be an enabler. We should not look for money and support. They have their own business. Our business to believe in the strength of our idea, to always passionately work on it, refine it, scale it up and move on. That's the problem here because we are a landlocked place.
No, but it's a problem everywhere in India. See, our belief is that, सरकार सब कुछ करेगी. But अगर सरकार सब कुछ करेगी, then you're not a founder.
Yeah, true. But I just have just one thing to add here.
Please.
I think it has something to do with how you are incubated, right? How you are told that how to crack
I know,
the
but you have to
fund.
break all that. See, a startup founder breaks through all of those old ideas, old thoughts.
I understand.
Right?
Yeah.
So while you are in a very capital consumptive, startup, and yes, I understand that the pain that where will this capital come from, but to imagine that everything will go back, then it's better to be a government servant. It really is much better to do that, right? Equity is not something to be treasured so much. Yeah. मतलब, to be the, आप अगर जीरो के मालिक हो तो वो जीरो ही है. आप जीरो के मालिक हो. तो उसमें क्या मतलब, there is no benefit in that. ना? किसका benefit? See, बड़ी कंपनी बनानी है तो आपको साथ में बहुत लोगों को लेके चलना है. अकेले नहीं कर पाओगे. ग्रांट से कुछ नहीं होने वाला है. It will not take you forward. ये मेरे से लिखवा के ले लो.
Archana, I would have a question, if I may ask.
Of course.
Yeah. So, as an investor, like when you come to Kashmir, you interact with a lot of startups. What are 3 things that makes you that okay, I'll invest in this? What are the key things that you or any investor that figures out here, इसमें ठीक है invest कर सकते हैं? Is there is an investor like domain specific or is it like open to?
Yes and no, but domain doesn't mean region specific, right?
No, domain. I mean industry specific.
No, of course, yes and no is the answer to that. But a little something, what I'm looking for is really self-belief. And self-belief means that you're not looking for a handout. That, equation between the investor and the founder is of equals. अगर कोई फाउंडर मुझको आके बोलेगा ना कि सरकार ये कर दे, वो कर दे, मेरा कुछ नहीं हो रहा है, and that may be true. It may be true. मैं ये नहीं कह रही हूँ कि everything is going hunky-dory for a founder. बहुत सारी चीज़ें, they go wrong. And sometimes when you're talking to an investor, everything is going wrong with your business. But you still are not looking for a handout. It's a relationship of equals. I'm giving money because I believe in the startup, in the founder. And the founder is taking money because there's respect for that capital, because the founder understands कि इससे मेरा business आगे बढ़ेगा. So there has to be a mutual respect. Otherwise, it's a non-starter, right? But if a founder is pessimistic, कि ओहो जी इतने problems हैं, कैसे होगा? Then I know कि founder नहीं जाएगा. I mean, लंबी रेस का घोड़ा नहीं है. Because everything depends on the founder. Sector वगैरह ज़रूरी है. But अगर founder is pessimistic and can only see problems, not solutions, yeah, then it's a non-starter. So,
Brilliant. It's very good and timely.
Because it's important to believe in you. आप अगर अपने आप में नहीं विश्वास रखोगे,
then
how can you expect anybody else, especially somebody who's going to give you money? So the self-belief doesn't mean overconfidence or being cocky also or arrogant. बहुत founders think that self-confidence का मतलब होता है arrogance, कि मैं दिखा दूंगा, मैं तो बड़ी कंपनी बना, मैं Elon Musk हूँ. But that's again not how it should be done, right? Like I said, it's a conversation and meeting of mutual respect कि आपके पास कुछ है, मेरे पास कुछ है. Is there a common way for us to work together? Often there isn't. Sometimes there is. And you have to accept that as well कि हर time वो हाँ का जवाब नहीं मिलेगा शायद. So.
Well, I have a different question here. Well, as a founder, I am an engineer by trade, so I do not know much about the businesses and how they function. So I would like to know how to approach the right people, or how to approach the customers. Right now, the customers are coming to us for their needs to get fulfilled. We build solutions for them. But now we have built a product. It's an AI-based product. So, I mean, how to reach the potential? I know there are millions of Amazon sellers all over the globe, but what should be the right approach? I mean, we can have the marketing team. They're working on the things, but as an engineer, I do not know the
You have
what's going
to
on
stop
there.
believing that you're only an engineer, because sales happens by the founder, not by the marketing team. If you can't do sales, your company will be in trouble. So, and sales, doing sales, what it means is that you have to try 20,000 different things. Something will work. You don't know what the answer is. You started with a product, you saw a problem, you said, "Iska main ye product maine bana diya hai." Now, how do you reach your target consumer is a function of trial and error at this point. And the trial and error has to be you. आपको आगे कोई ज्ञान नहीं दे सकता है, कोई सेल्स एक्सपर्ट नहीं आके आपको बता सकता है कि ये 3 चीज़ें कर दोगे तो आपकी सेल्स हो जाएगी. सो इन द बिगनिंग इट इज़ ट्रायल एंड एरर. देयर इज़ नो अदर वे टू डू इट. सो जस्ट डू कोल्ड कॉलिंग. आप लोगों को जस्ट रीच आउट ऑन लिंक्डइन, कीप कोल्ड कॉलिंग देम. कोई ना कोई जवाब दे देगा. बहुत सारे नहीं देंगे. जो नहीं देंगे दैट्स ऑल्सो फाइन, बिकॉज उनको ज़रूरत नहीं होगी, और दे मे नॉट
Understand it.
That's fine. I mean, they not everybody needs to understand it in the beginning, right? So you keep cold calling them, and कोई ना कोई जवाब देगा.
एक रास्ता बन जाएगा, then we can take that.
And then you'll find another. उसके through कोई और मिल जाएगा, फिर कोई और मिल जाएगा. So you have to create that change. Sales is a founder's responsibility. So on that note, I also have to conclude. Thank you everyone for coming here and being part of my table. And it was lovely talking to all of you. Thank you.